Hi everyone, it's Ashley here from Let's Talk Porsche. It's been a little while since we jumped on and talked about the My Porsche app, and there's been a whole heap of new features released for 2025. So let's jump in. So I'm going to start off with a quick run through of the main page. A lot of this is what's already on there. If you'd like a bit more in-depth look at the original features of the app, we do have a video which we've linked below, so feel free to give it a look. And then once we've covered the homepage, I'll run through what's new. So starting on the main screen, when you open it up, first of all, you're going to see your vehicle. You do have the option of swiping between as well, if you are lucky enough to have a couple of wonderful Porsches. As you can see, this one here is our Macan Electric. We've got at the top here, when we click onto here, we've got our vehicle status. So we can let's see if the vehicle's locked, if anything's open. So for example, if a door's open, a window's open, if you've left the sunroof open, which up in the lakes is a dangerous thing to do with all this rain. We've then got a picture of the vehicle and then vehicle details, which we can click onto here. This is going to take us through to the overview where we can see things like mileage, your service information, tyre pressure, trip computer, etc. Just below that, we have our charging state. Now, obviously, that's because this one's an electric vehicle. If it was a combustion engine, we'd see just general fuel levels. It'll also let you know charging status. We then have the charge icon, which will help us find charging stations. We have the scan to charge, which will unlock a charging station on the Porsche network. We have subscriptions, so this will take you through to the charging service. And a brand new icon called charging equipment, which I'm going to go through in a little moment. So that's all about our charging infrastructure we've got at home, for example. Then just below that, we have our preheat and pre-cool icon. This is great for those that are in a hybrid or electric, because it means we can make sure the car's nice and toasty or nice and cool. Probably finally get to summer in the morning for us. We have the remote lock and unlock. And also this button here is to set off the horn or the indicators or both. So really good for if you've lost your car at the airport or traffic centre or anything like that. Just helps you locate that straight away. Otherwise, you do have vehicle location, which will let us know exactly where all our vehicles are. So let's talk about the new features. One of which is this new garage icon up at the top here. Now this has a lot more functionality now. So when we scroll onto here, we can see all of our vehicles, for example. But when you click onto it, that's when we can change our vehicle name. So you can choose it to be the registration number. You can have a nickname for it. We can choose a picture. So we've got the stock picture of the vehicle here, but of course we can upload our own just through here. We've got technical details. So if anyone ever asks you, what is the 0 to 60 of your car? You've got it straight away. You've got it in your pocket. So you can see your top speed, your power, and you can go through and find out a little bit more about the engine that's in your particular car, what comes as standard on it, and then the gorgeous options that you've chosen as well. So for example, this one's upgraded to the Sports Chrono package, which is a no-brainer. If we then go further down, we can see things like body dimensions and weight. So if you need to measure up for a garage or anything like that, you've got your width and your wheelbase, etc. Also in garage, if I click the icon just again, below that we've got add secondary user. So obviously you can share the same account, but if you wanted to have a separate account for each driver and the vehicle, we would just click through to add secondary user and it takes us straight through to the website to add that on. We can also click onto the car security package, and that's where we can download the vehicle tracking certificate as well. If you do need that for insurance, you would just click that there, download straight to your phone, and it's really easy to send along. We can also remove the vehicle. So if you do decide to upgrade for a different vehicle, for example, and you need to take one off, it's now really easy to do. Just click onto garage, find your car, and remove. I'm sure you'll be sad to see it go, but at least it's easy to do now. So looping back to the new charging options, obviously we've got the charger locator and the scan to charge icon, but if we go back into the subscriptions icon, this is where we can activate, first of all, our Porsche charging service. Now I definitely recommend getting this activated. It's free for 3 years from vehicle registration, and it gives you access to the Porsche charging network, which, as you can see when we go onto maps, is absolutely vast and immense. It will give you reduced charging rates at all of those stations, depending on which power it is, on what brand, etc. Depends on the price. But don't worry, we do have all the prices just on this end icon here. We can also see when our subscription will run out. We've got access to our charging card number. If we go to history, we can also see where we've charged, for how long. And if we need to download an invoice for your company, for example, let's say you're charging as a business user, we can then download that there straight to your phone. And again, really easy to then send that on. So it just makes the whole kind of charging when you're out and about, the whole process is so much easier now. So speaking of charging out and about, it's now a whole lot easier to then plan a longer journey, including where you're going to charge, all through the My Porsche app. So to do that, we're just going to go to the map icon. We're going to find a destination. So I'm going to put in, I don't know, London, somewhere a little bit further away, about 200 and odd miles away. So as you can see, once I've clicked onto the destination, I can then click plan. It'll ask me which vehicle I want to plan it for, and I want to plan it for this green Taycan here. I can then set the arrival or departure time now, which is marvellous because it means it'll calculate the traffic for that particular time. Because obviously if you're doing it late at night for the next morning, it's definitely not going to be the same level of traffic on those roads. So let's say for arrival time for then, we can then calculate the route, which it's going to do now. So similarly to how it will do it in the PCM, but obviously not in the car when you're in the comfort of your own home. On here, we can see it's going to take us 4 hours and 42 minutes. And that's including an 18-minute charging time. So when I then click onto the plan, I can see that it's wanting us to stop at a grid serve, which is a 460 kilowatt charger. I'm only going to be there for 18 minutes to go from 16 to 82%. And then I can carry on to arrive at my journey. I can then choose to send this to the vehicle and send route to vehicle. So that's now going to be in my Taycan for when I turn it on in the morning. So I don't have to do a single thing apart from that. Apart from maybe get some road snacks or something like that. So we've not even discovered this bottom bar down here yet. So along here, obviously we've got the vehicle and map, which we've been in so far. We've also got Discover, which now has a lot of new functionality. So aside from the articles, which we all love to read through, we also have events. So this is where it's going to bring up any event that you can register your interest to, or it's something that's local to your centre, for example, articles, and then new models as well. So you can keep up to date with what's out in the new Porsche world. Obviously, we've also got our YouTube for that, but if you want to read about it too, that's okay. Also, along the bottom, we've got account. So again, we've still got messages, etc., but we now have bookings and orders as well. So that's going to take us directly to our Connect store. So if you do want to purchase a subscription to, for example, you know, the car security package or anything like that, we can click through to there and see our invoices and new subscriptions. We've got shortcuts to our charging equipment and charging service. When we go on to apps, we can now change our app icon. So if you want it to match your frozen blue, for example, we can now change the way that app's going to appear on our phone, which is marvellous. We can also add in a touch ID as well for a password. So that overrides the security code basically and makes it a little bit more safe, a little bit more personal to you. And then apart from that, we now also have in contact and help the usual numbers for example, Porsche assistance and customer support. But if you do need to contact contact one of our departments about anything to do with your app, so let's say it's misbehaving or it's not displaying something like it should, all we're going to do is shake the phone. There we go. And it's going to bring up what's called an Instabug. And this is where you can report a bug straight away and send it directly to our IT department. We'll be able to have a little look into that for you and get it fixed straight away. So that's a quick wrap up of what's new on the My Porsche app for 2025. Obviously, anything else that's new is going to come out, first of all, on our YouTube channel. But while you're waiting for the next video, feel free to have a little peruse at some of our other videos. Specifically, one about the electric Macan by myself, which I think is a great watch. We'll see you next time, guys. Okay, bye.